Um, All right, welcome H Radio 223 part-timers to another lesson from well, I say from radio, yeah, radio to 2.15, right? But we are continuing where we left off after our contact class last Saturday. This is 6 of 9, part 6 of 9 from your textbook Next Level Radio, chapter 6, 6.3, execution. We're continuing with that page 220 to 223. Just to give you a bit of a bit of a teaser, right? As a rundown as to what we're going to do in this lesson. We're going to obviously go through the theoretics. So the nine, as you see, there is about 7 slides to go through. And then what I've done is I've just quickly put together. I'm not going to be, I've got a quick, let's say, promo that's, it's actually not quick, but it's a easy little promo competition that put together with a Vodacom and obviously just like a fabricated station, which we use quite often in the radio textbook, right? Which is XFM. So you can actually see how the rollout happens and how to kind of put the briefing together, etc., because that is the end exercise at the end of this lesson, right? Okay. So just again, we were nearly done. As you can see, there's 6 of 9. Obviously, 9 is a recap, which is something that I will only do next week when I see you in person, so we can round off the semester nice and clean as well without particularly, I don't think we should start. Well, I'm gonna. You can see I'm kind of still thinking about that. Start a new section, right? But we will have a look at that, and then obviously once again, just before you go into submission week, right? I want to just cover just some touching base with you and your assignments, right? Okay, but let's focus on this week. It is only going to be, like I say, 2 lessons, but the thing is that it is actually 3 lessons in total. The next one is 64 and 65 in one. And so we are again covering 3 lessons for the week. All right. Execution. Now, if you remember, just we spoke briefly. We didn't briefly, actually, we did over the weekend quite extensively about those stakeholders that were very important to us, of the utmost importance when we do run a promotion or a competition. And that was once again that passive listener that has to enjoy it, that does play along, that does enjoy that winning moment, which is what we're focusing on today in this particular lesson, but also well, we spoke about that kind of sample set group, the research participants who we will use then afterwards, or even sometimes to some extent before, depending on when we want to run the focus group and analyze whether or not the competitions that we have held and the promos have that we have held did resonate well, what can we fix, etc., etc. And so we are making sure that we do this for them too. And of course, the advertisers and the brands to create platforms of engagement somewhere now that we can pay attention to, this particular brand for some other reason that they would like to promote themselves and their product, service, etc. Further, right, on some kind of platform. In this case, it would be radio, right? Okay, so we talk about the tease or the throw forward, and you might, I do think that we have spoken about it briefly in some. I always think it's briefly because I get confused with what we've covered, especially at this time of year when so many lessons have passed us by. We have passed through so many lessons, man, and so here we are, like talking about the teaser and the throw forward and how important that is, or quote unquote, what you've understood to become maybe the promise, right, of what is going to come up next in terms of here the context of promos, right? Okay, so the tease really needs to, in any situation, right, or any context, really get listeners interested to either listen on or participate in the promotion that's going to come up, right? So you can imagine really like selling this great prize, or this very easy prize, or this very practical prize. For example, money is always, as I say, the easiest one that people get excited about for. And how do we win this? Well, okay, tell them, and they can win now. They don't even have to do anything more, but just text through or just make sure that they post something on or do something or call in, right? It's that easy. We make sure that it is simple, 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 and it is 100% accessible to that listener. And again, a probability is high. Like, you know what? You could definitely win because the reality is someone is going to win at the end of the day. So the more convincing you are about how possible and probable it is that they could be that particular winner, then you are on the right track in terms of really executing a great promise, throw forward, or teaser, right? So it's a promise to the listener that what they are about to hear is worth their time and their effort. The way that we get there, increased time spent listening, but also them just staying along with us for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, in the most generic of situations, right? As opposed to, let's say, something that we have discussed in class, which would be a large activation to try and push them to listen to more shows throughout the day, again, with specific examples like we did with the sound of this, and like a clue here, and you have to listen to this song coming up in the next hour. And when you do hear the song, like we heard on those playback examples in the last lesson, there's many ways that we can increase and incentivize. Well, I'm so proud of myself that I remembered that word. We can incentivize them to listen longer, right? Okay. Right. So anyway, so it's going to be worth their time and effort, but then also convince them that they should keep listening because the promotion is of value to them. Don't give them something. Now you've got your research, you've got your studies, you understand the listener, you're a pro at who your listener is and how they live their lives, what's again important to them, what they spend on, etc., etc., etc. So why would you get a prize that doesn't fit that lifestyle, right? So again, it's something like, for example, now everybody wants to be able to get some prepaid electricity, right? Now that's a great prize because we see hikes and hikes and hikes, and also we know that that, let's say, there's the different categories or whatever it is where you pay more, etc. The more you use, and you know what? Someone ain't gonna feel that if you give them like 1,000 kilowatts to load onto their prepaid meter, and like there we go. That's a lot of stress taken away. But that's a practical one that everybody needs because everybody wants and needs electricity in their home, right? So think practically and pragmatically about what it is that you are choosing to give them, right? I said before that fancy look, I mean, it can sound very fancy and it can sound very extravagant, but might not be practical for that listener or the majority of those listeners to actually maybe use the prize, right? So the promise will look different for both the listening stakeholders, so the passive listener who will stay in, obviously in tune, right, to be entertained, as well as the active listener, those people that actually are going to send through their entries, their SMSs. Once again, they can enter online, whatever it may be, right? Whatever mechanism you decide or entry mechanism you decide on, they're going to actually be part of and participate in, right? So the promise, the tease, the throw forward for the passive listener needs to really push the fubby part of the promotion, right? Remember, funny, useful, bold, beautiful, and then I think the other one was interesting, right? Right, it's something of value. All right, all of those actually give you value, but okay, we're talking interesting. Yeah, okay, cool. Um, Understood. Right. So let's continue. The this promise, the teaser, or the throw forward should convince that passive listener that what they're going to hear next is going to be worth the time that they spend listening to. Now, it doesn't always have to be really funny, or it doesn't have to always be really fun, but it's got to be a great, like, cool experience for them. So they enjoyed the time spent listening to that particular execution, that competition, and so on. Right. That is the main thing. So when you are creating the promotion, don't think too hard. As I've said before, there are many reasons why we don't need to make it so complicated or creative or whatever it may be. But again, useful to them, bold, maybe daring, different. Definitely, they love different. A passive listener loves something refreshing. And oh my word, I can't believe that they're doing this or doing that, as you saw in the previous lessons where we had those great ideas that were rated 1 to 10 or 10 down to 1, right, around the world. So a beautiful piece of audio that will be something that inspires them to really just like, okay, and be like, inspiring them, not necessarily to always change their life. It breathes some life into them, right? So once this promise has been made, then that's where you need to now fulfill that promise. So we want to make sure that when we execute this promotion, it has to match up to exactly what it is that you did promise or tease to the listener, right? So it creates that emotive response that will keep them listening and engaged. Okay, look, listen, I'm here, I'm staying here, you promised me something. And as this particular piece of content, this promotion, competition, like is in lifetime happening, I am definitely 100% happy with my service. You understand, right? So, getting talking about the promotion, right? And for the active listen, the promise is an explanation of how we are going to run this competition, the mechanism, right? The mechanics, right, of the promotion, along with simple instructions on how to enter. Very clear and very simple instructions on how to enter, who will win, and then how you will get, let's say, your prize. Will it be something that you'll explain to them afterwards, or have like the competition department, the sales department, etc., right, explain to them afterwards. Okay, but you would have a hand in that as a presenter. So okay, because that'll be explained in the briefing, which we'll see an example of at the end of the lesson. Okay, so anyway, this is the moment that the promise is teasing towards the execution of the promotion. So now presenters really once again, I don't want to say now is when you really have to perform, because you have a client really listening in and saying, I paid for, I paid for, I paid for. That is definitely one reason, but you should always perform at your best, so that your radio quality, your product quality, your professional quality is of a high standard, right? So the active listener, okay, you're not performing for the passive listener. Then the active listener now is, you remember, like what we do is transparency, right? So this person can engage with you. They can feel very comfortable in having to do, if it's a silly thing or a very bold thing, as we said, they outgoing, courageous thing. They will tell you. They'll be fine, because they know that they are in the company of someone that absolutely they can trust, right? Okay, and again, that is a skill that you need to quickly develop as a presenter, right? So that you can get this type of connection immediately kind of done. So not kind of done, but done. And then you will be able to, then what you're doing is you're setting up for the possibility that yes, you are going to get one of the, or a better or a best response, or a moment on air, right? We call it a magic moment. So anyway, right, so there we go. Active listener is either playing the game and is fully engaged as the player, or of course they become a passive listener because maybe they entered, but maybe they weren't the one selected to participate in the competition, right? They become a passive listener who has to now listen to others playing the game. Right, so the emphasis will always be on the listener who is not playing the game actively, but rather listening in. So let me take that always out, because that is also not fair. Again, both obviously are focused on, but we really need to remember, like, we're not doing this in private. This is a public domain, and what it is, it's like it's a show, man, it's a performance. So for your consumer, who is your listener in this case, or audience, who is your listener, you want to make sure that the performance is a great one, right? So when executing promotions, it's the presenter's job to keep the listeners engaged using the fubby tactics, and while the tactics are how the promotion is designed, right? So once again, it doesn't have to include all of them. It can include maybe just one of the FUBB or I's. Well, the bold is always applied, right? Okay, but they should always prepare the winning moment and throw forward for the next time the promotion is executed. Now, sometimes you might have the liberty, your own liberty, to be able to say, okay, well, I'm going to make sure that the winning moment is also inclusive of, so I'm not going to just, like, let's say the briefing says, just announce the winner or make sure that you do contact them afterwards, whatever it may be, which I think is a bit of a waste. If you got their number, if they did enter and they did win, rather just call and put them on air, right? So that we can hear the person and their, kind of excitement, their happiness or gratefulness, and who knows, whatever it is. And it's a chance for us to once again keep pushing, pushing, pushing that particular client who has given them this particular prize, right, and made them super happy on this particular day, right? So they should also, once again, I say, prepare the winning moment is really about you sitting back and saying, okay, great. If it is stock standard, in other words, if my briefing says to me, you must do this, you must do this, you must do that, you must do this, and then you must do this at the end, right? Then you must stick to that as it is. If they, again, I'm going to repeat it, if they allow you a little bit of free reign, then go ahead and make it pop. All right. Okay, so the presenters need to focus on making that particular moment very special. So read the room, like make sure. I said to you, there's a tactic that we do use by telling that we phone that winner up, and we tell them that they have to be available because they have been drawn as one of three finalists to win this massive prize, so that they will be like, oh my word, it could be me, it could be me, it could be me, right? As opposed to phoning them and say, oh, listen, like you have won. I do want to call you back because then all the excitement is gone. So we have techniques that we do, and that's not the only one to make sure that you create anticipation. And there's this whole thing of like, oh man, just like my excitement levels are going through the roof as someone that could potentially win, right? Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm drinking water. Okay. But the thing is also the winning moment is like how the DJ plays it on the go. Make sure that again, this is nice and tight. Let it slick, that you are magic, that there's like I say, a connection. Everything, there isn't a technical error. You're not playing like the winning applause, or maybe that you don't play the jingle that says you are a winner with whatever FM, right? And then come back and say, oh, like what are you going to do with the money? Or like I hear that this specifically is going towards supporting your best friend or your sister, your brother, or you want to buy like a whole experience for your dog or your cat, your pets who you love so much. Doesn't matter. Like then you say to them, "Oh, what is it? What's your dog's name?" How long have you and Josie been together? I don't know what dogs are named, but anyway. So and Josie seems like a dog's name. Anyway, it doesn't matter, right? Um, okay, but you know what I mean. Like then and push them. Say, okay, look, I mean, I hear that Josie is right next to you because she never leaves your side, right? So get her to bark for us, and we'll take that as here we are, Boston Broadcast, the only airwave that matters, So that type of thing. Feel free to have fun and make that moment a winning moment, make it stand out, make it magic, right? So, this is to ensure that the winner really feels valued. Thank you so much for being, listening to and being a listener of the station. We love you, right? And we are super happy to give this to you just to help you out just a little bit, make a little bit of a change so you remember us because we will always remember you. Something like that, right? And that they will want to tell all their friends listening on social media, man, look at my money, look at my new dress, look at my new car, whatever it may be, right? They go like hey, we share like. And so social media connections, that's free advertising for us, and how well they were treated by the station and the advertiser, right? Customer service, customer service, customer service all the time, right? Okay, so winners become prominent ambassadors for brands and they need to be looked after. So, in a commercial radio station, if the promotion has a sponsor, partner, or a brand, which they always do, right, attached to it, the brand must be positioned as the hero of the execution, as I've mentioned before. So, you will say, in this case, you'll see we'll do one with Vodacom, as I said before. Vodacom is very happy to give you this 10,000 bucks. Vodacom also is going to throw in a brand new whatever. I'm not sure what new phones are, as well as they're going to give you 100 gigs of data for free. Done. So you keep like they are. It's not about the station. Do not say, it's only 5 FM or whatever it is. You'll promote, and push the brand because they are literally the ones that made this competition possible because they are the ones that pay for it, right? It's important to make sure that the brand reaches its objectives of one, obtaining excellent audience participation on air to build brand awareness, right? And embedding brand messaging into the radio content, as you heard in those examples that we did play over the weekend, right? So, you just heard them push. I think the one was like a coffee brand. That was, remember it was the iced coffees, and man, that guy was pushing it. Every second word was that coffee brand. I can't remember it right now. And then the other one was, uh, I think it was that energy drink or something like that, where you got the T-shirt and whatever it may have been. But the thing is that they were pushing that. It was subliminal messaging. You won't, even as a passive listener, forget that, right? Okay, so this is something again that we did see in the previous presentation. Remember, let's recap on this. Highlighting new products, right? Or product launches is a reason to be able to or want to create a competition with a station. Effectively communicating short-term objectives is why a client is going to come to you and say, well, for the next month, or like Black Friday is coming up. So we normally have that throughout November. It's not just the Friday, right? So we want to be able to do that. Also, remember that is for you a cue as let's say, a sales professional to start approaching brands, etc., and saying, well, we'd like to do that. That's coming up literally around the corner, right? Creating a strong positive brand association and directing listeners to a clear point of purchase, convincing them to buy this particular client's brand's products, services. Okay. All right. So these obviously objectives need to be met in order for the promotion to be seen as a success for a brand or the advertiser. That's the only thing that makes it a success. These 4 points here, and so much more, right? So, in other words, when I say so much more, how do we break this all down and make sure that every little checkbox underneath each one of these points is checked off, right, correctly, so that success is defined by the outcomes that we have over here. All right. Okay, so that's what I'm saying to you. Short lesson though. So we're going to, okay, you can go over here. Let me just quickly, I'm going to stop the show. I'm actually going to share the screen. So excuse me, I'm just going to take this off here. I'll just share the screen so I can just pop back and forth. Here. All right, anyway, share. All right, okay. Right, so you're very familiar with that link there. We did it. I always struggle with that. Did it in class, and it says there in the lesson says that go and use the guidelines that we have learned over the past couple of lessons to create like a specialized like your own briefing or your own mechanism, like your rollout plan for a competition. So, me, I'm transparent. I don't want to encourage it, and because you're not allowed to do it, right? But I went and I did an extensive, obviously, request and interaction for, AI to just put this one together nice and cleanly for me so I can just use it. Because I do have I wonder where is, let me see here. Um, what is this? What is this thing that's over here? Good Lord. Sorry, just give me a second. I just popped out of that meeting. Oh, yeah. Hold on a second. Sorry, there's something you can see something putting on screen here. It's killing me. Uh, where? Hold on a second. Let me just see. There it is. Okay. So here's the one that I did last year. Manually, it's beautiful, but it actually applies. So it is beautiful. If I must say it myself, it took so long to do it as well, because that's what it takes so much to do from scratch. Because it's called a job, right? Not my job. I'm saying doing promotions, etc., is a job, right? So this one includes obviously like a live read, the format you've seen before, like in a nutshell, etc., etc. It then says like when are you going to do what? Like on the Monday, this is going to happen. We do the opener. We got the live read. There are the directions. We've got the guests in studio. We have the interview. It says that we're going to play a song. We're going to call a winner that we already have chosen as a sales department and given to the DJ, right? And then play the Cotton Fest opener, take the caller to air, create the banter, and then use a qualifying question, for example, like this over here. And the question actually that makes them win is what is Uncle Waffle's real name, which is Lungelichle Zwane, right? Okay. And then it says you can give some hints if necessary. When they do win, you play the winner Cotton on at Cotton Fest jingle. And then you do have a closing live promo, right? Which then changes from like I said, day to day. Right, you see that? Then it goes to Tuesday, etc., etc. So I won't share this one with you because it is a third year thing, not because you won't understand. I just went through it, but that's just to justify why. Just let this go there for a second. Where is that other one? Here we go here, and I'm just going to here just to justify why we've got this little one over here. If you want me, now you know what I will do is I will just I'll load it up. Well, I'll send it to Grant and he'll load this up just to have their on call campus. You can download it. All right. Okay. Anyway, XFM and Vodacom radio promotion briefing. Right. The campaign title here is XFM and Vodacom, a year of free data. So the prize is one lucky listener wins a full year's worth of data, courtesy of Vodacom. What are the objectives that we have here? It's to drive excitement and engagement with listeners, to promote Vodacom's value and connectivity in South Africa. Normally, we would find, for example, we'd like to promote new data bundles that maybe have been dropped completely in price. I really have to. No, I'm not going to share like a long story. Yesterday, I had to renew my contract, right? Which made me think about Vodacom. So, and it was like it was it was a nightmare. I'm saying going in store to have to go and find some kind of upgrade, quote unquote. I didn't want the upgrade. I'll tell you nice and short, right? Because I've got enough phones, so I just wanted the data and the minutes deal, right? They couldn't do that, and they couldn't give me something. They what they could only do, right, is actually give me a higher package that I am on now. The system didn't work. Anyway, long story short, I was like, no, thank you. Like this is far too much money for just what let's say what you're giving me there. It's and my objective here is to cut all the costs down because it's not worth it, right? Anyway, so here I go. There goes Chris, and he runs off to, let's say, Telcom to be prepared now to discontinue my account with Vodacom. And so the next step is I phone Vodacom because I got to cancel over the phone. Anyway, this lady says to me that no, 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 like that if you do it over the phone, if you renew over the phone, and this might, yeah, maybe this is a cool tip for you anyway, they can custom make a bundle for you. Never mind what's in store, never mind that. We will custom make a bundle for you and according to whatever you want. And then you that's your new contract. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. What do you have for me? And then they said, oh my word, I couldn't believe this. She gave me 15 gigs, right, every single month, which my previous one was on 6.5, right? 15 gigs, 100 minutes a day, minutes of, obviously on calling, whatever it is, plus 85 bucks of just like rand value, so I can change that into whatever I want should I need more airtime, right? For 300 rand. And I'm laughing at it because what in store they gave me considerably less. We're talking like something like 8 gigs and 200 minutes plain, 650 a month. And I was like, oh my word. Can't believe that. Not that I didn't know. I didn't know you could do this on Vodacom. Also, I pretty much suspect that they don't want you to know, right? And so they push obviously everyone to the stores and the bundles that they have there or packages, and so you waste obviously just blow more money anyway. So this is what made me think of Vodacom, and I would, if Vodacom would want to allow it, but say, listen, rather like when we call you, or you can call us on this number, whatever it may be, we can custom make a bundle for you, like a package that is going to save you. It's going to be the cheapest in the country. I don't know if that's true, but anyway, it seems like it, right? Anyway, so promote Vodacom's value and connectivity in South Africa. Position XFM as the station that rewards listeners with big lifestyle prizes. And so here we go. Here's the mechanism over here. It's called the data drop. Each day, XFM will drop a data code word on air at a set time, for example, during the breakfast show or let's say the drive show, right? Listeners must WhatsApp or SMS the code word along with their name to the station's competition line, which is normally, like we say, a five digit number, right? 32999, whatever. At the end of the week, one entrant is randomly selected to win weekly data bundles. Okay. And all weekly winners go into a grand prize draw for a year of free data with Vodacom. And this balances daily engagement with a big final payoff, keeping momentum over several weeks. So I did talk to you about a spike and spoke to you about that type of stuff, right? Okay, so nice and simple, right? Simple. Look at it. A code word, right? The code word could be bundle, right? It could be like I don't know, minutes, airtime, whatever, Huawei, whatever it may be. I don't know what Vodacom wants to say, but that could be like the code word, right? So that you would have to listen very attentively, right? And normally, what will happen is if we are going to give the code word out, 10 to 1, in this case, like the presenter will actually say it as opposed to it being maybe produced and included as in the scheduling. So for example, in between songs or whatever it may be. Could be cool because they literally have to listen really well for that, but I think they might actually miss it. So better for a presenter to say, okay, listen, today's data code word courtesy, for you to be able to win a weekly data bundle. So today we're giving away to each winner, whatever, every day this week. Let me just get this correct. Every day this week, we're going to be giving away, a data bundle to, one lucky person who SMSs the data code word to this particular line, 32999. Only when you hear the data code word must you send that with your name and your surname as well as your ID number, please. Right. Okay. And then you automatically are then entered into the draw, which will happen later on at about, let's say, quarter to 7, if it's let's say in the breakfast. So then what will happen? You'll say, listen. So what will happen is that you immediately go into a draw if you have one today, and at the end of the week, winner, right, who will win 1 year of unlimited free data with Vodacom. So you're going to have, so the thing is that people don't enter once. The more they enter, the more they stand a chance of being picked randomly. Again, it's randomly selected. So this fits perfectly with everything that we want and have said over, our time together, right? Within this particular um, submodule of our learning, right? Promotions. So here's the presenter scripting. We will be given, as presenter, you are given a script that you must stick to. So XFM and Vodacom are keeping you connected like never before. Imagine streaming, scrolling, sharing, and downloading all year long without worrying about running out of data. That's right. We're giving you the chance to win a whole year of free data, and that's courtesy of Vodacom. Now, here's how it works. Listen out for the data drop code word every day on XFM. Now, when you hear it, all you got to do is WhatsApp or SMS us that code word with your name to 32999. Now, each day you enter, you stand a chance to win weekly data prizes, and then you qualify for the grand prize at the end of the week. We'll choose one winner, which will get a year's worth of free data. So stay locked to XFM, powered by Vodacom. Further together. Right. Then we get the daily call to action. A reminder. So don't forget, today's drop code word is, as I said, the airtime. WhatsApp this word now or SMS it to 32999 for your shot at free data today and maybe even a whole year of unlimited data from Vodacom and XFM. So now, obviously again, we then have that winning moment, etc., etc. We'll pick the winner. We'll make sure that it's cool, whatever it is. But in the grand prize winner announcement, for example, at the end of the week, and the moment we've all been waiting for, right? Just take this out, otherwise we're gonna have a bit of an issue, right? What? Right. Okay. Anyway, okay. And the moment we've all been waiting for, thanks to XFM and Vodacom, one lucky listener is about to stay connected for a whole year. That's right. From this very day, 365 days from now, you still will not pay for data thanks to Vodacom for free. Congratulations to, and we have the winner on the line. Blah, 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 blah. You've just won a year's worth of free data courtesy of Vodacom. Keep it locked to XFM, we keep you connected. And then the rollout plan. Remember, we spoke about things that are activations, right? That carry on for a whole bunch of, like a whole bunch of weeks, right? Okay. All right, week one for daily data drop code word revealed, collect listener entries, right, and select one weekly winner of a smaller. So I would change this. I would make it every day because people get annoyed. So I would give them something every single day, right? Okay. Then at the end of the week, I would give them 1 year of free data. So we have, let's say, 5 winners in total, let's say, of one year of free data. All weekly winners go then up into the grand prize, right? So what I would do is let's change this together. Okay, so let's say 1 to 4. I will say select one daily, yeah, daily winner of a smaller Vodacom data bundle, right? Okay, and then I would say let's keep it to 1 week to 4, right? Okay. Take this out and then say here all weekly winners go. So all weekly winners, what? Also weekly daily winners. So uh, weekly daily. So you know what I mean by that, right? Weekly daily winners go into a grand prize draw. Okay, which happens. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Go. Yeah. Okay, so let me just go back there. Okay. Uh, Computer is being weird. Okay, okay is oh, which is announced on the Friday afternoon drive show. That's going to be better. Okay, so we're going to get that. Week 1 to 4, winner of, and they win that. I just want to kind of separate that. So, so that you understand week 1 to 4. It's that in the social media sport post daily code word reminders, announce weekly winners. on socials and build suspense for the final draw. Weekly build for the weekly end of the week's final draw. That makes more sense, right? Yeah. My PC made a weird sound. It's fine. Okay, here we go. Here's technical and logistical notation to confirm competition line number. Vodacom branding on air must be mentioned every time the promo is read. Daily tracking sheet to log entries and winners. Obviously, we do that like on like via system, via prize system. Okay. And then obviously make sure that T's and C's around one entry per day per listener. Now, as many uh, as yeah, uh, no limit to how many uh entries okay entry that's not right, but it's entires entries per listener. Okay. Subscribers are eligible. Price is not transferable. Okay, I'm going to save that, and that'll be then attached to that. Okay. I hope that kind of clears things up. The nice example. I'm going to stop that share over there. I'm going to stop this particular class. I'll see you in 63 and 4.